Hey there, everybody. This is Adam Zundel with the Mountain East Conference here today with the head coach at Notre Dame, Mike Shiels. Coach, how are you today?
Oh, doing great, thanks. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Recently announced you all are the preseason pick after a great year last year. I know coaches don't put a whole lot of stock in polls, but it's good to probably see your name at the top rather than being at the bottom, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Obviously last year, I don't know that we expected to do as well as we did last year, and and clearly in the preseason polls, no one else did either. So, but no, it's exciting. It's exciting. I think like you said, it reflects on what we did last year, and hopefully we can build on that.
Talk a little bit about building on that. 16-2, regular season championship, but obviously I don't think the season ended the way you want, losing in the tournament finals, and then of course no NCAA tournament bid. So, what has the momentum been like, or the offseason been like?
Again, obviously, you never want to finish your season that way. Losing in the final and into a very good Wesleyan team. And then obviously not getting into the national tournament. I guess if you would ask me probably before the season started, I would have been delighted. But then obviously at the end you always want more. We've had I think a really really strong recruiting class, and I think part of that's based on how we did last year. So hopefully we can build and maybe have a little more depth, a little maybe some more things to fall back on. We struggled a little bit toward the end of the year, and I think we looked tired. But like I said, hopefully this is something where we can really build on and we can push forward. It's going to be hard to replicate a 16-2 season. Even if we're a better team, but we're hoping that with some quality players coming in and a good returning group, we can do that.
We'll talk about the returners in a second, but one of the key losses is your keeper, Christy Kolshetsky, who was just so good last year. And a keeper's job is twofold. One is to make the big saves, but the other part is organizing the defense. And so, as a senior and as a leader and missing that, that's obviously going to be difficult to replace. So tell us about the prospects at keeper this year.
Yeah, we've got one returning goalkeeper, Sam Shoemaker, who's going to push to make that spot our own, and then we have two keepers coming in. Whitney's coming in from Michigan, and we got Louisa coming in from Norway. So they're driving in from a little ways, right? But we're hoping that I don't know that we need to get them to step in and fill those shoes right away, but we need to have them step in and grow into that position. We graduated a couple other players from that back four that obviously only gave up 4 goals last year. So, but like I said, I think with the class we have coming in, and the returning players that we can slide some pieces in next to those other returning players, and hopefully with if we're a little stronger everywhere else, it'll give our goalkeepers and the other the new backs time to grow into the positions.
Usually, it goes backward, forward with the leadership in the organization. Are you going to rely on some other pieces to kind of direct that, or are you expecting the back four and the keeper to just assume that same role?
We return Kitty Carlisle as one of our captains. She's one of our center backs, and she'll be a player that we fall back on and rely on a little bit. But we've also always been a team that's always leaned on our young players. If you're good enough, you're old enough, and so we've got some really good players coming in that we think can come in and obviously we're going to expect some growing pains, but that we think can come in and make the positions their own and help us move forward.
You have a lot of different attacking pieces and can do it a couple of different ways. Tell us about some of those. Obviously, Offensive Player of the Year and Megan O'Connor coming back, and Carla DeJean was really outstanding, I thought, towards the end of the year and in the conference tournament. Tell us about those kind of pieces and how they're going to work together.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, it's exciting for us as coaches to get all those guys back. We return our 3 starting attacking players, and then, we return our whole center, all 3 center mids. And then we've got some players coming in who are going to challenge, and push those guys to keep their place, and it's only going to make us better. That would have been, probably looking at our team last year, the one thing I would have said, we didn't have different options, in terms of off the bench or coming in and challenging some of these guys, and at this level, if you want to take that next step and you want to be consistent throughout the season and finish strong in the postseason and hopefully get to the tournament, you need that. But obviously Megan had a fantastic freshman year, and so did Carla. We had Catherine Beatty, who was a big part of what we did up top, and then the 2 girls out wide, Natalie and Al. and they were fantastic for us. And so we're looking for more. And I think that the key for us is, in the off season, the girls weren't satisfied. They were happy with what we did, but I don't think anyone was happy with how the season ended, not getting into the tournament, not finishing, not winning the conference tournament. So I think that'll be important for us going forward. So.
Tell us a little bit about depth at the college level. It's such a compressed season, and how important is that? You said you already alluded to it a little bit, and towards the end of the year, how having depth, what advantage is that?
Well, like you said, it is a compressed season, so any injury is kind of, exaggerated because you just don't have time to come back. If it's anything more than a minor pull or a strain, or you're looking at missing 2 weeks is 4 games, and all of a sudden you're missing big chunks of season real quick. So for us, we had a couple season-ending ones. We had some other minor injuries that just kind of over time kind of wore us down a little bit. And hopefully, like I said, we've got a nice class coming in. We have a big group returning as well, which is nice. We return over 14, 15 players, I think. And so when you look at that with a big incoming class, it's got a lot of quality in it. It just gives you that you can kind of ride the wave if you pick up an injury here or there, that you're not all of a sudden scrambling and reshuffling. And that's the hard part, is when you have to start moving players around, you lose any kind of rhythm or flow to what you're doing.
Give us a little bit of insight on the schedule, 3, I believe, non-conference matchups, and then a little bit about the Mountain East and the challenges that it presents.
Sure. We've added a little bit of quality to that out of conference schedule. We were able to pick up in terms of Division II, picking up Davis and Elkins, who had a nice season last year, and that'll be on the front end of our schedule. And then at the end of the year, we've got Edinburgh, who are a team, in-region team, who always seem to be in the postseason hunt. And if we want to be in there, that's a team that we've got to be able to compete with, and frankly, we've got to get a result against. But that's going to be tough. They've been doing this for a long time. I've known Gary, the coach up there, for a long time. Great guy, and runs a great program. So, but for us to be where we want to be, we're going to have to come out, and those are the kind of teams we've got to beat.
And the Mountain East Conference schedule, the challenges that it presents?
Yeah, last year was kind of maybe at the beginning of the year, I think maybe we snuck up on a couple people, and we definitely won't have that luxury. But I tell you, it's a tough schedule. You play a lot of different types of teams that bring something different every week, and you play them twice. And you get them 3 times if you get them in the postseason. So you get to know each other pretty well, and you have you know what to expect a little bit, and it's a little bit of a grind, and the teams from top to bottom, if they're having a strong year or not, man, they come out ready to play and they compete. So it's gonna be another interesting one.
All right, Coach. Thanks so much for taking the time to be with us here today. Best of luck as the season starts soon.
All right, thanks, I appreciate it.